Now we were going to start with the second session of listening. And I hope that we won't have the same exact issue of internet because we changed the time. And I believe that we won't have it, but still, let's just cross our fingers and let's just hope for that. So for the second session, before we start this, I want to talk a little bit about the last session, what we talked about. It was, if you remember, about the TOEFL, what TOEFL is, how the structure is, and then we talked about the just content or just purpose questions. We talked a little more and we delved into that. And this time, again, for this session, we're going to have another question type that we're going to cover. And this question type is inference questions. So for inference questions, I believe you all have the slides, but I still want a confirmation for you guys. Could you please give me a thumbs up? Thank you so much. All right. Now for inference questions, if you look at the name, you have inference, right? Do you know anyone? Do you know what the meaning of inference is? If you do, please raise your hands, or you can just write it in the comment section. Anyone? It's okay. I guess nobody did. It's fine. Maybe guess. Okay. What else? Okay. Inference is like, okay, I have to tell you this way. When I say something, I say that do this action. It means that I'm saying it directly to you guys, right? I'm just saying it directly. And if someone asks you what ma'am said, you can say that, well, she said that I have to do this. But then sometimes I don't say that directly. I say it indirectly. Like I say, let's say I want to say wash the dishes. I don't want to say it that way. I just want to say it indirectly. So I say that the dishes are dirty. I say that. I didn't say it directly, but it meant that you have to wash it. That's it. That's inference. Like you infer something from a saying. All right. So the inference type of question in TOEFL, it's not like a detailed questions. We're going to cover detailed question types. It's not like a detailed question. The detailed question asks you about something that's directly mentioned. But the inference question is a question type that, it wants you to understand the indirect meaning of a sentence. I mean, you don't look at it from the surface. It's not a superficial meaning. It's the actual meaning. It's the the meaning that's hidden inside a sentence or inside a paragraph or something. That's inference question. Then if you want to identify an inference question, what do? Most of the times you have these words: imply, infer, suggest. Like it says that, what does the professor imply? What can be inferred? Or maybe it says it only has infer, what can be inferred from the professor when she said this? What can be implied from the student about the student when he said this? Or what did the professor suggest at this time? Or sometimes it might even say, what did she mean when she said that? It means that it's not the literal meaning, like it's not the superficial meaning, it's the deep meaning, it's the meaning in depth. All right, that's inference question. Now look at this. Before we go into an audio, I want to show you a little bit like how it looks like, okay? So this is a script of an audio. Suppose you're listening to this audio and you want to have a question from inference questions about this. I will read it for you guys and please listen. As he was preparing for the SETI meeting, Dr. Frank Drake developed an equation to estimate the number of civilizations in our Milky Way galaxy that might be able to communicate. Drake's equation involves several practical factors, including the average rate at which stars form, the number of those stars that have planets, and the average number of those planets that could support life. These are followed by factors that are much more difficult to determine: the percentage of those planets that actually do develop life, the fraction of those that develop intelligent life, the percentage of civilizations that develop radio technology, and the length of time during which those civilizations send radio transmissions into space. Because of these factors, the equation is less of a math problem and more of a thought exercise. Sometimes you can have a question, maybe a meaning that a superficial question from this, maybe a detailed question. But some of the times you can have another type of question that you'd say, okay, well, this was fine. Like you took notes, you said you have taken notes of all the details mentioned here, but then the question looks like this, and then you'd be like, okay, well, what does it mean? But you have to look at it from another point of view, right? So this is the question. What does the professor imply about Drake's equation? A, it cannot be used to accurately predict the number of civilizations that can communicate with humans. B, it relies upon multiple variables, so it requires powerful computers to answer. C, it can provide a good estimate of the number of worlds that harbor life. And D, it was intended to encourage conversations at the first SETI meeting or SETI meeting. So this is the question, and these are the answers. That's why we're saying that TOEFL is not only English. Like if you even know English about this script, it's not going to be that helpful. So you have to practice more and more, like as much as you can. You have to practice, okay? So about this one, let's look at it this way. Let's just eliminate the answers that look completely incorrect for us. I want you guys to comment in the comment section. For me, the answer that looks the most incorrect to you guys, not the correct one. We're not talking about the correct one yet. We're talking about the incorrect one, the most incorrect one. What is it? What is it? I don't see any. Yes, B. That's great. Such a great start. Anyone else? B. Exactly. B. Well, we can eliminate this one. At least we can eliminate B. Oh, let's eliminate this one. Why? Because if you remember, it said that because of these factors, the equation is less of a math problem and more of a thought exercise, right? So if we're talking about B, it said that it relies upon multiple variables, so it requires a powerful computers to answer. So it's not a mathematical thing, it's not a computer thing, it's about humans, right? Now, what else? What other answer can we eliminate? A, C, D. Which one? C. Great. That's amazing, you guys. Yes. We're eliminating C. And now we're left with A and D. There is someone, I think there is an echo. Hanifa Ruzizada. Could you please turn off your microphone? Okay, I will do it. All right. Now, from A and D, it cannot be used to accurately predict the number of civilizations that can communicate with humans. And D, it was intended to encourage conversations at the first city meeting. Which one do you think is the most incorrect one from these two? Again, we're talking about incorrect one. D, we have D and A, but mostly D. Yes, D is the next incorrect answer. So we're left with A. That's an amazing start from all of you. It means that you have such a great sense of inferring from any kind of sentence. This was a hard one, and I think that you're pretty amazing in it. Now, how to answer inference questions? Well, first off, they can either directly contradict the passage, like the one, if you have looked at B, B was that way, right? Like it contradicted with the passage. You'd be like, okay, well, it said lots of things about the same script, but no, it contradicted the passage. Then, or some of them state ideas that do not match those mentioned in the listening passage. I believe it was C, if I'm not wrong. C was that way. Or they can be distractors. Despite being logical, there is nothing in the lecture indicating that. And again, it was C or D, one of these two. Yeah, I don't remember which one was which exactly right now. So be careful about these. I mean, you might know things about the contradicting part, but some of the times you might think that, well, I haven't listened to this part. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe he did say this thing. Maybe I'm wrong. But try to be the most attentive person in the room. and try to listen to everything, try to take notes from everything. And again, I want you all to take notes from everything the way we did with, I don't know if you have watched the videos or not. There were videos about taking notes strategies. You have to take notes that way, or if you want to, you can find your own strategy and you can have another type of taking notes. And at the end of the day, you have to send me the results, right? And I have seen that most of the people, most of the students haven't sent me the images of the notes that we had from the past lecture. And I want you guys to please send me them because it's a great opportunity for you guys. And also, you will take certificates at the end for the students who are the best, the students who have the best performance. And I want every one of you to be there. I want every one of you to take that exact certificate. Okay, now there is a question. Is it reading or listening? That's a great thing. I have to say it. Well, this is another question, but I want to say another thing as well. Okay. First off, the question is Hamid Salehi's. He says, "Is it the same between listening and reading?" Yes, it's the same exact thing. I think you have had it maybe in the reading sessions as well with Mr. Khan, right? And yeah, it's the same exact way. You have to handle it the same exact way. And the next thing is that when you looked at this script, it's not going to be this way for you. You're not going to be able to look at it again. You have to just be attentive and listen to it just once, and that's going to be it. No more than once. And even sometimes when you see some of the questions, I've written some of the scripts at the start because these are the first lectures. But as we go on, as we move ahead, I have them all in audios because in some of the questions as well, maybe some of the questions would be like, what did the professor imply when she said this? And then you have an audio icon, and there's going to be another audio played for you, okay? And please listen to that part as well. It's really important. You have to listen to everything. I mean, that's it. Now, the best thing you can do is to eliminate the wrong answers first. I've told you this. Any answer that copies a part of the script, these are the tips. Any answer that copies a part of the script from the paragraph is mostly incorrect. Not all the time, but mostly it's incorrect because, well, they usually do that as distractors. They want to distract you because you look at it and you think about it and you say that, well, it has a copy of the script. So if it's mostly the copy of the script, it has something wrong in it. Maybe in the script itself, maybe in the audio, it was a positive sentence, but now it's a negative sentence. That's it. So you have to pay attention to those. And the answers rarely contain extreme words such as never, none, all, always, these stuff. You will see them in the next lectures as well. Some of the answers have the answers. Some of them have none or never or always. If they're not directly mentioned in the audio, please do not go for them. Just skip them, ignore them, and eliminate them whenever you see them. Some of the times they are mentioned, but mostly no. Whenever you see these extreme words, don't go for that exact answer. All right. Now, this is another one. Again, this is not an audio. We will have our audios after this one, okay? So it says people are less happy to accept scientific data they feel contradicts their preconceived beliefs. No surprise here. No human likes to be wrong. But science isn't supposed to care about preconceived notions. Science, at least good science, tells us about the world as it is and not as some wish it to be. Sometimes what science finds is consistent with a particular religion's wishes, but usually it's not. Now the question is this. What can be inferred about good science? Select from the given options. It's the inference about good science. A is, a good science is well received by the educated people. B, a good science is based on concrete results obtained through testing the hypothesis. C, a good science and religion are same. And D, a good science will always prove the general populace wrong. I want you to first say which one do you think is correct. Then if you were wrong, then I'd say that you have to go for eliminating. Go ahead. B, A. Okay, that's good. We have B from most of the people, and yes, B is the correct answer. I mean, makes sense. If you look at it, it's logical. You feel that maybe A is correct. A good science is well received by educated people, but what we had here is a good science is based on concrete results obtained through testing the hypothesis. Because we said that it's not about the preconceived notions, right? It's mostly about the world as it is. Like it's the experience, it's of all the explorations and stuff. All right, so please be careful about these distractors because it is a good thing. It seems logical, but there was nothing in this exact audio that will point to this exact answer. Okay. Now, this is an audio for you guys. I want everyone to please listen. And after that, I want to, oh, yeah. And when you're listening to it, please take notes. I want your registers and pens ready and prepared with you guys, okay? So are y'all ready? Okay, you aren't ready. It's fine. Take your time, like 1 minute, and have everything ready, and then we're gonna start. Okay, good. Now I'm playing it in 3, 2, and 1.
Now listen to the lecture.
Hello there, students. Today we're delving into the fascinating geology of Corsica, a Mediterranean island with a distinct geological past. Corsica, which is frequently referred to as a mountain in the sea, is the ideal natural setting for solitary geological process research. As we explore the geology of Corsica, we must begin during the Paleozoic period, when the island's base was formed. The metamorphic rock, schist, which is seen in the rough mountains that make up the island's spine, makes up the majority of this basis. The story of Corsica's geology, however, is not just about time's relentless march, but also about the dramatic interaction of forces on and below the Earth's surface. The island was submerged throughout the Mesozoic era, enabling the production of sedimentary materials like limestone that now make up the cliffs on the island's eastern coast. The Tertiary period eruption that caused the island to rise from the sea resulted in a period of strong volcanic activity, leaving a variety of igneous rocks strewn throughout the island's topography. A stunning display of red, porphyritic rocks in the western half of the island serves as a reminder of this turbulent past. The distinctive features we see today, such as the Restonica Valley and the Aguilas de Bavella, were shaped by erosion caused by glaciers, rivers, and the sea from the Ice Age to the present. The biodiversity of the island has also been influenced by its geology. A variety of different soils, each with a distinct collection of plant species, have been produced by the diverse geological substrate. This deep relationship between geology and biology is evidence of how interconnected all of nature is. The human factor must always be kept in mind. The geology of the island has greatly influenced its human history, from the prehistoric copper mine to the modern vineyard farming on limestone soils. The rocks that make up their habitat have shaped how the people live. We may also observe the delicate balance between man and nature in this symbiotic interaction. In conclusion, learning about Corsica's geology entails much more than simply comprehending the rocks that make up the island. Understanding the island's history, environment, and even culture is important. Unexpected links and surprising complexity abound in the geology of Corsica, making it a really fascinating topic.
Now, you all listen to it. If you want me, I can play it back again to you guys because these are the first lectures. Okay, everyone wants it. All right. Then I'm going to play it again and have your notes.
Now listen to the lecture.
Hello there, students. Today we're delving into the fascinating geology of Corsica, a Mediterranean island with a distinct geological past. Corsica, which is frequently referred to as a mountain in the sea, is the ideal natural setting for solitary geological process research. As we explore the geology of Corsica, we must begin during the Paleozoic period, when the island's base was formed. The metamorphic rock, schist, which is seen in the rough mountains that make up the island's spine, makes up the majority of this basis. The story of Corsica's geology, however, is not just about time's relentless march, but also about the dramatic interaction of forces on and below the Earth's surface. The island was submerged throughout the Mesozoic era, enabling the production of sedimentary materials like limestone that now make up the cliffs on the island's eastern coast. The Tertiary period eruption that caused the island to rise from the sea resulted in a period of strong volcanic activity, leaving a variety of igneous rocks strewn throughout the island's topography. A stunning display of red, porphyritic rocks in the western half of the island serves as a reminder of this turbulent past. The distinctive features we see today, such as the Restonica Valley and the Aguilas de Bavella, were shaped by erosion caused by glaciers, rivers, and the sea from the Ice Age to the present. The biodiversity of the island has also been influenced by its geology. A variety of different soils, each with a distinct collection of plant species, have been produced by the diverse geological substrate. This deep relationship between geology and biology is evidence of how interconnected all of nature is. The human factor must always be kept in mind. The geology of the island has greatly influenced its human history, from the prehistoric copper mine to the modern vineyard farming on limestone soils. The rocks that make up their habitat have shaped how the people live. We may also observe the delicate balance between man and nature in this symbiotic interaction. In conclusion, learning about Corsica's geology entails much more than simply comprehending the rocks that make up the island. Understanding the island's history, environment, and even culture is important. Unexpected links and surprising complexity abound in the geology of Corsica, making it a really fascinating topic.
Now, let's come back to the question. What is the main idea of the lecture? This is again a gist content question, but we're going to have all the question types that we have covered in all of these lectures, okay? So we will have the main idea as well. A, the professor provides a detailed history of Corsica's formation. B, the lecture focuses on the different types of rocks found on Corsica. C, the professor talks about the relationship between geology and human history on Corsica. And D, the professor discusses the interplay of geological processes in shaping Corsica. What do you think? C from Medina. A, great. Safia. Who else? C, A, C. Rabia says D. Okay, most people say A. All right. Now I will eliminate them, but I can eliminate them all at once because the professor, did she only talk about the history, or did she only talk about geology, or did she talk about both of them? What do you think? Both, exactly. So A is the professor provides a detailed history of Corsica's formation. Not really, because this is too specific. This is only about history. The lecture focuses on the different types of rocks found on Corsica. Again, only geology. It covers only geology because these are, and this is way too specific. It's even more specific than D. So no. The professor talks about the relationship between geology and human history on Corsica. This one seems good. And D, the professor discusses the interplay of geological processes in shaping Corsica. Again, this is only geological processes, so no, again, this is too specific. But suppose the professor talked about only the history of Corsica. Then C would have been too general because it would have been covering more and more of the details than it was actually covered, right? So that's the difference between too general and too specific. But now C is the most correct answer. C is correct. Madina, Sohrab, and there were some more people. You guys are correct. The next question is, what does the professor imply when she says this? The story of Corsica's geology, however, is not just about time, relentless march, but also about the dramatic interaction of forces on and below the Earth's surface. A, the geology of Corsica is only about the rocks. B, the geological formation of Corsica is just about time. C, the geological formation of Corsica is due to both forces within the Earth and surface processes. And D, the geology of Corsica is only about the forces below the Earth's surface. What about now? Medina Amini? Thanks, C, by Sadid. All right, C from everyone. Only Mujda Haidari thinks that it's B. Could you please elaborate on this? Why do you think B is the correct answer, Mujda? Okay, I think she doesn't want to talk about it. But C is the correct answer, as everyone else said. The geological formation of Corsica is due to both forces within the Earth and surface processes. Yeah, that's right. The next one, when the professor mentions that the rocks that make up their habitat have shaped how the people live, she said this, right? What does she imply? The rocks on Corsica are harmful to humans. B, the people of Corsica have learned to use the resources provided by their geological environment for their benefit. C, the people of Corsica live in houses made of rocks. And D, the rocks on Corsica are unsuitable for human habitation. Any idea about this? B and D? Yeah, only one person says D, and that's not correct. B is correct. B, the people of Corsica have learned how to use the resources provided by their geological environment for their benefit. That's the correct answer. This is the script if you want to look at it. Now we have another audio. Again, have your registers ready. Take notes from everything. I want the pictures at the end on Telegram channel. And this time, I hope that the notes are better. So if the notes are better, I will provide like a feedback that's more specific to every one of you. If you had, again, the same exact problems, I might have another video or something. So now I will just play the audio. Please take notes. Starting in 3, 2, 1.
Between a student and a...
Hi, how can I help?
Hi, so I need to use a computer, but the other assistant told me I can't right now because the computer lab is full. He said that I have to leave.
Do you have a reservation?
Yes, well, I did.
You did have a reservation? Do you mean you already used your time?
Yeah, I just used the computer for 2 hours, but I have a final project due tomorrow and I'm not done yet. I need to use the computer for another 2 hours.
Okay. The computers are only available for 2 hours. Each student can make a reservation for 2 hours a day. Do you know about the policy?
Yeah.
We have so many students who need to use the computer lab during finals. We have to make sure that everyone has a turn. Can you wait until tomorrow?
No, my project is due tomorrow morning.
Do you have a computer at home you can use?
No, I don't have one.
Okay, I see. Here's what we can do. Are you available this evening?
Yeah.
Great. You can fill out this form to ask for an exception. It's for students who are very close to their project deadline and don't have access to a computer at home. You can ask for a second reservation to use the computer today for another 2 hours.
Okay.
There's a wait list though, so it's not a guarantee. Only if we have a spot open up this evening. We'll email you if we do.
Oh, what if I just come back this evening? Maybe someone will finish early and I can just take their spot.
No, you need to go through our reservation system. It's the only way we can make sure we're being fair to everyone. Sometimes students come in and they try to just take someone else's spot, and that's a problem for everyone. We have had students who got suspended from using the computer lab for 2 days because they used a computer without a reservation.
I don't want that.
No, you don't want that. Listen, I will tell you that there are usually a few students who cancel their reservations, especially in the evening. And there is only one person on the wait list in front of you. So I think you have a good chance.
Okay, that's great. I don't feel so worried about finishing my project now.
Now,
That was it for the audio. I'm not going to play it again. It was such an easy audio. Number 1. What are the students and the lab assistant mainly discussing? A. Using a computer in the computer lab. This is just like a GIST content question. Using a computer in the computer lab. B. Fixing the student's computer. C. Ending the student's suspension from the computer lab. And D. Using a computer in the library. Y'all are correct. A is the correct answer. Now let's move ahead. The next question is, what does the lab assistant suggest that the student do? A. Ask for an extension on his final project. B. Use a computer without a reservation. C. Request an exception to the reservation policy. D. Use a computer at the public library. That's completely correct. C. The next question is, listen again to part of the conversation. You have to listen to it again. There is another part of the conversation. This is what I'm saying, that till this part you had the scripts, but from now on you have to listen to those exact parts, and it's going to be just played once for you. Okay? So in 3, 2, 1.
A reservation?
Yes. Well, I did.
You did have a reservation? Do you mean you already used your time?
Yeah. So you listen to this, and now there's going to be a question about it. Why does the lab assistant say this? Why did she say this? A, to suggest that he make a reservation. B, to confirm that he can't use a computer again. C, to find out if he needs to use a computer. And D, to clarify the student's problem. D, A, B. A. Okay. All right. We have D and A. We'll have, okay, first off, Medina Amini, you think it's B? Why do you think it's B?
Hello, teacher. Am I audible?
Hello. Yes, you're audible.
Well, it's obvious, teacher. Like the teacher or that woman, the female, told that she's insisting that he has used his chance, so he can't use it again.
Yes, that's correct. B is the correct answer. That's it. To confirm that he can't use a computer again. That was the confirming, right? It was a she or he, I don't remember. I think it was she confirmed that you can't use the computer again. Like she said, so you have used the computer, right? It was like this. I think it was pretty obvious, yeah. Now let's go to the next audio. And again, you have to listen to it and at the same time, take notes as well, okay? And it's about some kind of botany stuff. It's about the animals in their maybe anatomy and some things. So I want you to listen. In 3, 2, 1.
Now listen to the lecture.
Today we'll go into the intriguing world of over 47 species of leafcutter ants, which are predominantly found in the tropical rainforests of Central and South America. These amazing beings live in a caste system restricted society that exhibits outstanding cooperation and labor sharing. They are distinguished from other ant species by their amazing capacity to grow fungal gardens, which is a feature that sets them apart from other ant species. We must first talk about the intricate societal structure of leafcutter ants in order to comprehend their significance. Leafcutter ants have a caste system that is separated into workers, soldiers, and reproductive individuals, just like many other ant species. Depending on their size, workers are further divided into many subcastes, each of which is in charge of carrying out certain tasks. They can be quite productive in their everyday tasks thanks to this arrangement, which also helps the colony as a whole. I'm particularly intrigued by the leafcutter ant society's practice of fungus gardening. Leafcutter ants, as their name suggests, harvest leaves from plants and bring them back to their nests. Contrary to what many people think, they don't consume these leaves. Instead, they use the plant matter to feed a grown fungus that becomes their main source of nourishment. This symbiotic interaction is a prime example of mutualism in nature and has evolved over millions of years. It is interesting that this reciprocal connection is deeper still. The ants' bodies contain a particular bacterium that produces antibiotic chemicals that help ward against dangerous mold and germs. For the purpose of defending the ants' fungal gardens, chemical warfare is necessary. Several researchers have even compared the use of antibiotics by ants to current agricultural methods. Leafcutter ants are devoted protectors of their home range. Due to their size and strength, soldier ants are in charge of repelling any dangers. They have strong mandibles that can pierce flesh, which has attracted the attention of researchers who are interested in exploring the possibility of using them in surgical procedures. One cannot help but be in awe at the adaptability and dexterity of these organisms in varied contexts, despite the fact that it is not a common habit. Finally, let's think about how leafcutter ants affect the environment. They are occasionally viewed as pests because they defoliate plants, which can result in lower crop yields. Nonetheless, by assisting in the process of decomposition and recycling nutrients back into the soil, these ants perform a crucial part in preserving the equilibrium of their ecosystem. They may impair agriculture in some way, but their total benefit to the ecosystem outweighs any potential drawbacks. Finally, the leafcutter ants give us an enthralling glimpse into the complexity and inventiveness of insect life. These ants have complex social systems and inventive farming methods which teach us important lessons about collaboration, flexibility, and resiliency.
That was the audio. Now, before we go to the question, I want to ask you something. Did you notice something different in this audio? Yeah, what was it? The accent, exactly. The accent was different. So you have to keep this in mind in the TOEFL and in IELTS as well. If you want to take the test, you have to know lots of accents, like Indian. Sometimes you can have the Indian accent. Sometimes you can have a Russian accent or something. It's really rare, but sometimes you might have them, okay? Because this is TOEFL, right? You want to take TOEFL because you want to apply to a university outside your country. And if you go there, they're going to have different accents, right? That's why you will have some of these. Malalai Azad says that she wants to, okay, if you want to pray, yes, you can pray. Go ahead. And if anyone wants to offer their prayers before we come back to the question, please go ahead and offer your prayers. All right, some of you have prayed, I know that, but some of you who haven't, I don't think you will have the time. If we're finished from this first, and then you go and offer your prayers, I don't know if you will have the time or not. But it's better for you to offer your prayers before joining the session, because the evening, the evening azan is before 5 p.m. That's right. But for now, it's the first time. That's why you can offer your prayers, and we're gonna join back at 5:45. Okay. Now coming back. Um, I think some of the people haven't joined. Because of that, I will share the attendance link with you guys, and please go and submit your attendance. Okay. Yes, here is the attendance form link, and you can go and submit your attendance till the time that everyone else comes. And do you want me to play this audio back again? Again, this was a lecture, and lectures seem a little more difficult, I believe. Great. Okay. We have two people voting. One says yes, one says no. What about others? Okay, I will play it again. But again, this is the last lecture that we will play the audios again. Okay? In 3, 2, 1.
Now listen to the lecture.
Today we'll go into the intriguing world of over 47 species of leafcutter ants, which are predominantly found in the tropical rainforests of Central and South America. These amazing beings live in a caste system restricted society that exhibits outstanding cooperation and labor sharing. They are distinguished from other ant species by their amazing capacity to grow fungal gardens, which is a feature that sets them apart from other ant species. We must first talk about the intricate societal structure of leafcutter ants in order to comprehend their significance. Leafcutter ants have a caste system that is separated into workers, soldiers, and reproductive individuals. Just like many other ant species, depending on their size, workers are further divided into many subcastes, each of which is in charge of carrying out certain tasks. They can be quite productive in their everyday tasks thanks to this arrangement, which also helps the colony as a whole. I'm particularly intrigued by the leafcutter ant society's practice of fungus gardening. Leafcutter ants, as their name suggests, harvest leaves from plants and bring them back to their nests. Contrary to what many people think, they don't consume these leaves. Instead, they use the plant matter to feed a grown fungus that becomes their main source of nourishment. This symbiotic interaction is a prime example of mutualism in nature and has evolved over millions of years. It is interesting that this reciprocal connection is deeper still. The ants' bodies contain a particular bacterium that produces antibiotic chemicals that help ward against dangerous mold and germs. For the purpose of defending the ants' fungal gardens, chemical warfare is necessary. Several researchers have even compared the use of antibiotics by ants to current agricultural methods. Leafcutter ants are devoted protectors of their home range. Due to their size and strength, soldier ants are in charge of repelling any dangers. They have strong mandibles that can pierce flesh, which has attracted the attention of researchers who are interested in exploring the possibility of using them in surgical procedures. One cannot help but be in awe at the adaptability and dexterity of these organisms in varied contexts, despite the fact that it is not a common habit. Finally, let's think about how leafcutter ants affect the environment. They are occasionally viewed as pests because they defoliate plants, which can result in lower crop yields. Nonetheless, by assisting in the process of decomposition and recycling nutrients back into the soil, these ants perform a crucial part in preserving the equilibrium of their ecosystem. They may impair agriculture in some way, but their total benefit to the ecosystem outweighs any potential drawbacks. Finally, the leafcutter ants give us an enthralling glimpse into the complexity and inventiveness of insect life. These ants have complex social systems and inventive farming methods which teach us important lessons about collaboration, flexibility, and resiliency.
And this is the question. What does the professor imply about the pest status of leafcutter ants in the context of their ecological role? A. The ants are the main cause of crop destruction. B. The ants should be eliminated. C. The ants' ecological contributions are more significant than their negative impact. And D. The ants are less harmful than other pests. I would like to have the answer for this one. A. Great, go ahead. What about others? We only have 2 voters here. A and C. We'll have Hamid Salehi. Why do you think it's C? Could we please have you on stage? All right. I think he's not answering. Then let's have A from someone. We'll have Mujda Haidari. Okay, I think nobody is answering. We're left with Malalai Azad. Could you please elaborate on your answer?
Um, Actually, I should say that its accent was a little bit strange to me, and I couldn't understand many things about this audio. But I think the A is correct because it makes more sense than others.
Okay, I guess it's about the background knowledge, right? That you have. Actually, for this one, C is correct. The ants' ecological contributions are more significant than their negative impact. That's the correct answer. And for you guys that say I have to share the audios, yes, I will share the PowerPoint slides, and together with them, you will have the attached audios as well. If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask your questions. I would like to answer them. I think nobody has any question. Now I will share the attendance form link once again, and please go ahead and submit it. And then, okay, we'll have Malalai Azad. Could you please go ahead? Yeah.
Yes. Actually, I don't have any questions, but I would like to say that if everyone knows the time zones are different, and as I live in western zone of Afghanistan, the time is a little bit different. For example, here the evening azan is about five. Uh, yes, 5:10. Yeah, 5:10, and I should pray during the 5:10 to 5:13. And because of that, it would be better if we have like a 5 minutes break during the lesson.
Okay, thank you so much for the recommendation. Yes, we will surely do that. We will have a 5 minutes break from now on at the exact time. What time do you exactly want to have it?
Maybe 5:20, 5:20. Yes, it's great.
5:20 to 5:20 to 5:25, right? No, you guys, I'm not asking about the timing of the class. I'm asking about the time that you want the break, the 5 minutes break. Or if you want to, this could happen as well, that we have the timing of the class from 5:30 to 6:30, as Dr. Nematullah says. What do you think about those? Is there anyone who thinks that it doesn't work for them? Okay, then we will have the timing from 5:30 to 6:30. This way we won't have any break, and we will have the evening prayer as well, just before you join the session. And that's going to be the greatest one, right? That's correct. Any objection? That's awesome. Thank you so much for tonight. We had fun. It was such a fun session. And I hope you have learned something new. And please do practice more and more. And especially in note taking skills, do have practice in them. Okay. That's awesome. The next session will be from 5:30 to 6:30. Have a great one. Goodbye. And before saying goodbye, the assignment will be uploaded for you guys tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow you will have the assignment that I will share the deadlines and everything with it. But for now, you have to share your notes till tomorrow night. Tomorrow, 12 o'clock is going to be the deadline. And I'm talking about 12 a.m., 12 at night. That will be the deadline for you guys to submit your notes. Thank you so much. Have a good night and sweet dreams.